Unit 3. Okay, let's see what this unit is about. Look, if I have f of g of x and I want to differentiate it, what do I get? What do you get? Differentiate the outside, right? Then the inside. Do you knock on the outside door first or the inside door first when you guys want to come in here? You didn't knock on anything. Okay. Well, anyways, knock next time, please. So what if I had g of f of x? Differentiate, what do I get? Uh-huh. Perfect. That's called the chain rule, guys. It's not that hard. Let's give you an example. Y is equal to bracket 5x cubed plus 3x 5. Find the y prime, please. The 5 goes down, becomes a 4 as a power, times it by the derivative of the inside. So please differentiate the inside. Exactly. Excellent. Excellent. Let's do something else now. Let's do y is equal to the root of 3 over x. Find the y prime. So look, that's going to be 3 over x to the power of half, right? Or essentially 3x to the power of negative 1 to the power of half. That's before differentiation, by the way. Do you guys agree? Do you agree? Look, if I have 3 over x, is it the same as 3x to the power of negative 1? Thank you. And if I have 3 over x to a root, same thing as 3 over x to the power of half. Would we agree? We agree on that. And now it's time to differentiate. So power rule first. So bring the half down. 3x minus 1 minus half multiplied by the derivative of the inside. Negative 3x, negative 2. Don't leave it like this. If it's negative half, that means the root has to be in the bottom. 3 over x multiplied by negative 3 over, one second. So far we have this guy. Let's do it again. So half. What's negative half? Bringing it to the bottom, correct? Like this. And times negative 3 over x squared. So don't leave the negative power as a negative. Make it a positive power. So what's on top? Bring it to the bottom. What's on the bottom? Bring it to the top. Do you guys know that? For example, if I have 3 over x to the power of negative 1, just make it 3x. If I have 3x to the power of negative 2, just make it 3 over x squared. It's that simple. Easy. Ooh. You guys will like this one. And it's okay to leave it as negative power. I don't mind, okay? Just solve something. Go ahead. Find the y prime. First of all, this is going to be x cubed plus 4x to the power of half, correct? That's before differentiation. Now what do? power rule first. So half x cubed plus 4x to the power of negative half times the derivative of the inside, which is 3x squared plus 4.
That's it?
Yeah.
I was correct.
Really? Wow. Let's do another one. Y is equal to 2x plus 8 over x squared minus 10x power of 5. Find the y prime. So first bring the 5 down and make the power how much? Exactly. Then differentiate the fraction by using the quotient rule. That's the fraction. So you're going to have x squared minus 10x, x squared minus 10x times derivative of 2x plus 8, which is, oh shoot, 1 second. Am I too quick? 1 second. What's the a term? The numerator.
Yeah, 2x plus 8.
The b term? Denominator, right? What's a prime? 2. What's b prime? 2x minus 10. So, put b squared on the bottom. On top b times a prime minus b prime times a. Easy.
That was hard.
No, just leave it like this. Multiple choice, this one comes out. Let's give you a harder one.
So I can't figure it out.
That's our problem always. Guys, don't take notes if you want. Just focus.
So let's correct now.
Yes, let's differentiate. Before that, actually, make it as a power. So 5x cubed plus x to the power of half. Let's now do y prime. Bring the half down. Minus half power multiplied by the derivative of the inside, which is, that's it. That's how we do it.
Don't
I just need to write the one.
Yeah, I know.
Yes, I didn't told me it's 0.
Okay. If I have dy over dv, and I have dv over dx, and I want to find dy over dx, how can I do that? By multiplying dy over dv by dv over dx. Please learn this rule. It's a new rule.
You cancel it.
Just leave it like this. Okay? So you multiply 2 of them to get the last derivative. Let's give you an example. If I have y is equal to 8v to the power of 2 minus 6v, and I have v is equal to 5x to the power of 3 minus 11x, find dy over dx. First thing you do is, here you have y and v, correct?
Right.
That means you will have dy over dv. Here you have v and x. That means you will have dv over dx. So what is dy over dv? It's going to be 16v minus 6. I'm just applying rules here, right? How about dv over dx? 15x squared minus 11. Let's now find dy over dx, which equals dy over dv times dv over dx. So 16v minus 6 times 15x squared minus 11. But now there's a problem because I have v and x at the same time. I only want x, correct? I don't want v. So guess what? We'll replace the v with 5x cubed minus 11x. So we're going to have 16 times 5x cubed minus 11x minus 6 multiplied by 15x squared minus 11. Let's now expand. Lost? Lost? Are you lost?
Yes.
Are you guys lost? Which part? Now we're gonna have to expand, so 80x cubed minus, what's 16 times 11? 176x minus 6, 15x squared minus 11. And that's about it.
I thought they fixed it.
Now we have something new called implicit differentiation. Okay? Let's see what that means. Implicit differentiation. So, this means you will differentiate the y and the x at the same time. Before, we only differentiate the x. Now it's going to be what? Both at the same time. For example, if I have y squared plus y is equal 3x cubed minus 7x. And I say differentiate. When you differentiate the y, you must always put dy over dx next to it. So, what is the derivative of y squared? Power rule. What is it? 2y times dy over dx. How about y differentiated? 1. But again times dy over dx. 3x cubed becomes x squared minus 7. Now please factor dy over dx on the left side. You guys know what that means, right? Factor it. Bracket 2y plus 1 is equal to 9x squared minus 7. So essentially, dy over dx is equal to 9x squared minus 7 over 2y plus 1. That's called implicit differentiation, because you differentiate the y and the x at the same time. You want to leave dy over dx by itself completely. Whatever is next to it has to go down. Okay? Let's see if you guys can do one by yourselves. Sorry?
So we had 2 dy over dx.
Yeah. It's called factoring. For example, if I had 2x plus 7xy, I want to factor the x out. You're going to have x 2 plus 7y. Factoring? Yeah. Who taught you math in grade 9? Okay, moving on. Let's move on to y cubed. I was his teacher in grade 9. So. Minus 4y squared is equal to x5 plus 3x4. Find dy over dx. Implicit differentiation. In my earlier days, I used to walk around and bully people into solving it, but now I think you guys will take it personally.
How would you bully us?
I would grab the pen and just write for you. Or like, use.
That's nice. That's something.
No, you still have to solve afterwards. So first say 3y squared dy over dx minus 8y dy over dx is equal 5x to the power of 4 plus 12x cubed. Now simply factor out dy over dx. 3y squared minus 8y is equal 5x to the power of 4 plus 12x cubed. And now simply bring that down. 3y squared minus 8y, 5x to the power of 4 plus 12x cubed. Okay? Let's do another one. So sine y squared minus cosine x squared is equal to cosine y squared plus sine x squared. So the sine becomes cosine upon differentiation. Then differentiate y squared, it becomes 2y
Alright.
times dy over dx.
Okay.
Negative. Now cosine becomes negative sine. And x squared becomes 2x. Okay? Cosine becomes negative sine. And y squared becomes 2y next to dy over dx. Correct so far? And the sine x squared becomes cosine x squared times 2x. Okay? Now, minus with minus, plus. Let's now isolate dy over dx to be by itself on the left side. So now we're going to have cosine y squared times 2y dy over dx plus sine y squared 2y dy over dx. Okay? Is equal to cosine x squared times 2x minus sine x squared times 2x. Now simply factor out dy over dx. So you're going to have 2y cosine y squared plus 2y sine y squared is equal to 2x cosine x squared minus 2x sine x squared. And now simply move whatever is next to dy over dx to the bottom of the fraction. Like this. Just move it to the bottom. Okay? And whatever was on the other side, put it on top. And that's it. Problem solved.
So we don't cancel any of them?
No. Was it complicated?
So only the 2y and 2x thing was kind of confusing.
I agree. I agree. Okay. Let's now do something else. If I have 3x squared plus 5xy squared minus 4y cubed is equal to 8, find dy over dx. So we're going to have 6x plus 5. Here you have to use the product rule because you have x times y squared. Okay? Minus 12y squared dy over dx is equal to 0.
That's neat.
Hmm?
It's 8.
How about
8. A number becomes 0 when you differentiate it. Now, you just have to use the product rule to differentiate x times y squared. So the a part is the x, the b part is the y squared. The a prime is the 1. What's the b prime? 2y times dy over dx. So what's the product rule? A times b prime plus a prime times b. So a times b prime plus a prime times b. Okay, let's now expand that 5. So we're going to have 6x plus 10xy dy over dx plus 5y squared minus 12y squared dy over dx is equal 0.
So where did we get the, like, wait, x times 2?
So whatever has dy over dx has to stay on the left.
You don't understand.
10xy,
But let me check this.
12y squared. Whatever doesn't have that, dy over dx has to go on the right side and change sign. Negative 5y squared, negative 6x. Now, let's factor out dy over dx on the left, leaving us with 10xy minus 12y squared is equal to minus 5y squared minus 6x. Now, isolate for dy over dx. And here's the answer. Okay? Let's now do this question. Differentiate 3x squared minus 4y squared plus y is equal 9. It's your chance to redeem yourself. So we're going to differentiate, so 6x minus 8y dy over dx plus 1 times dy over dx.
Wait, where'd you get 1 times?
Let's now factor out dy over dx is equal minus 6x. And then you have minus 6x over minus 8y plus 1. So we have 2x minus 5y squared over 4y cubed minus x squared is equal to minus x. Find derivative of this expression at 1, 1. At 1, 1. So I'm going to start by cross multiplying, meaning that I will have to multiply this by that and then this by that. So I'm going to have 2x minus 5y squared is equal to minus 4xy cubed plus x cubed. And if you want, put the terms containing the y on the same side, meaning minus 5y squared plus 4xy cubed is equal to x cubed minus 2x. And now it's time to differentiate. And anytime there is a y term, we're going to differentiate right next to it dy over dx, or just write y prime. So we can have negative 10y times y prime plus 4. The following requires a product rule. So the a is the x and the b is the y cubed. A is the x, b is the y cubed. What's a prime? 1. What's b prime?
dy over dx.
With?
1.
No, 3y squared times y prime. Product rule. So it says a times b prime plus a prime times b. So a times b prime plus a prime times b. Okay? Is equal to x cubed becomes 3x squared. And minus 2x becomes minus 2. You can erase these guys. From here, continue. Expand the brackets. So you can have minus 10y times y prime plus 12x y squared y prime plus 4y cubed is equal 3x squared minus 2x. Now what's next? You should factor out the y prime on the left and move anything without y prime to the right.
So what about 12?
So I'm going to factor out the y prime on the left, minus 10y plus 12xy squared is equal to 3x squared minus 2x minus 4y cubed. And so y prime is equal to, move this under, on top 3x squared minus 2x minus 4y cubed.
The negative 10y stays negative?
Yes, because I didn't move it. And I'll simply replace x with 1 and y with 1. So we're going to have 3 minus 2 minus 4 minus 10 plus 12. Now 3 minus 2 is a 1, 1 minus 4 is a negative 3 over 2. Yeah. Okay. Right. We have some rules now that we have to learn. Okay, now we're going to have some new rules. For example, the derivative of inverse sine is equal to 1 over 1 minus x squared. Okay. The derivative of inverse cosine minus 1 over 1 minus x squared. The derivative of tan is 1 over 1 plus x squared. The rest will not come, only those three will come. Yeah. These will always come back in every single exam. So please memorize them.
So are they in your cheats?
They are, yeah. They are. Okay. Now, we can change them into u term. We're going to have du. U term, du. And u term, du. What does that mean? For example, if I have to find the derivative of the inverse sine of x squared. Okay. Then what do I do? Let's just go back. That's the equation, right? And this is the u squared, u squared, u squared. Now, looking at the equation of the inverse sine, that's the equation. I'm going to ask you to find the derivative of the inverse sine of x squared. Would you know how? Would you not know how? Okay. So what is the derivative of the x squared? 2x. over root of 1 minus. So u became u squared. That means x squared becomes?
4.
Yes, x to the power of 4. And that's how we do it. Any? It's very simple. On the top, you must differentiate. On the bottom, you will do 1 minus, and you must square whatever you have. Let's do another one. Here we have the rule for the derivative of the inverse tan. I say inverse because -1 means inverse power. Let's find d over dx of the inverse tan of 5x. Five x upon differentiation becomes 5. On the bottom, just put 1 plus. What's 5x squared? 25x squared. Okay? That's how it works.
So why did we use a different one?
It's inverse tan. Inverse tan, not the same rule as inverse tan or inverse cosine. Yeah. Now, given this equation, find f prime. You have to use the quotient rule, obviously, right? Because when you differentiate a fraction, you have to apply the quotient rule. So go ahead. Why don't you start by finding your a term, which is the numerator, and the b term. Now, what's the a prime? It's 2x minus 4 cosine x. How about the b prime? Minus 2 sine x. Now, do you guys recall the quotient rule? A over b becomes b squared, b times a prime minus a times b prime. Apply the quotient rule to find f prime of x. So I'm just going to replace now b squared with this squared and then b here times a prime. So it's going to be 2x minus 4 cosine minus b prime times a. You can leave it like this. Okay. Let's now find the y prime of this equation. Find the y prime. So, we're going to have to apply the chain rule because we have differentiate over multiple stages. So I'm going to first use the power rule. So the 3 has to go down. We're going to have tan to what power now? Yes. And now start to differentiate the outside, then the inside. You must fill in 2 blanks. So now differentiate the tan to become secant squared. And then differentiate 1 minus x squared, which is what? 1 becomes how much? 0. Minus x squared becomes what? Exactly. And that is how we do it. But in these situations, always make sure that the trig functions are toward the right side. That means this negative 2x has to be moved up front and must be multiplied by the 3. we'll get negative 6x tan squared 1 minus x squared secant squared 1 minus x squared. Alright guys, differentiate this one. Okay. So on top, 6x becomes 6. On the bottom, root 1 minus 6x squared. That means 36x squared. Plus on top, 6. In the bottom, 1 plus 36x squared. And that's how we do it. Now, given this equation, let's find the f prime. Okay, so guys, 15 x to the power of 4 minus 4 a prime times b. So I'm going to have a prime times b plus a times b prime. So a is the x squared and b is the y cubed. A prime is equal to x, b prime is equal to 3y squared times y prime. You're going to have a prime times b, so 2x times this, plus a times b prime, plus 4y y prime is equal 0. It's kind of messy, but now it's about time to expand the brackets. So minus 8x y cubed minus 12 x squared y squared y prime plus 4y y prime is equal 0. Make all the y primes. And now it's time to factor out the y prime. Plus 4y minus 15. 4 plus 8x y cubed. And now go ahead. And now it's that should be the answer. Yep, it's good.
So the 4.
So if your function is this, then I want you to find the f prime, or find the y prime.
Is that 25?
That's 25. So find the y prime at 1 and 2.
So I made it silent. I don't know my slides.
Need silent? Yeah, sure. So we're gonna have 21x squared plus 2 a times b prime plus a prime times b. 15y squared. Expand maybe? Maybe expand. What do you guys think? Shall we? That's like the most logical thing to do right now, to expand.
Yes.
Are you guys happy? Overly happy?
Are you happy?
At the current situation, no.
Why did you take off your neck thing?
It's like summertime. It's really like hard.
Sir, you better be
Maybe next lesson. I don't know, man.
Sir, we cannot call in the hospital or something. Please work.
Your parents are doctors, no?
They're not here though.
Do we have 911 here?
Do we?
Who do we call
So,
if you get like
100
abnormally sick?
124.
124?
104. 124 is outside.
No, no, please. I don't want to go to jail, man.
Sir, they're gonna catch you for
Yeah,
that.
I don't want to go to jail
For your
for having a bad neck or something. Replace the x with a 1. Minus 8 times 1 times 4. What's 8 times 4? Exactly. And what's 4 times 2?
24. Yeah.
And what's 15 times 4? 16. So minus 53 over minus 52, which means if you were correct, that's your answer.
So much.
Let's now do a different problem. F of x is equal this. X is equal to 1. Find f prime x. Yes. So, right now we have f of x is equal to 1 minus secant cubed pi x to the power of half. Correct? Let's find f prime of x. Bring that power down. And now differentiate the inside. How would you, as a logical person, differentiate the inside? What comes to your mind when someone says differentiate the inside? What's the derivative of 1? How about the derivative of secant cubed? Like the power part. 3 goes down, secant squared pi x. Now, what comes to your mind if someone says differentiate secant of pi x? What's secant differentiated? Maybe a secant tan, maybe? So secant times tan, followed by the derivative of pi x, which is pi. But of course, we must now simplify it. So 0 minus, just 0 goes away. And please move the pi to the beginning. And so we're going to have half pi. And the rest is just easy. It's not a hard question.
Where did the tan go?
The tan is there. I'm about to write it down for you. So secant, in my opinion, it's not that difficult.
Because you're a teacher.
In my opinion.
You're a teacher.
Now we're not done yet. It says that x equals 1. Now replace every x with a 1. That part is going to be on you. What are you guys doing? Okay, if you think so. So half pi. 1 minus secant cubed pi minus 3 secant squared pi secant pi tan pi. Now, can someone smart tell us what tan of pi is?
You can Google.
Would you like to use Google?
Maybe.
I allow it for now. Exactly. So the whole thing becomes 0.
So we did all that for nothing.
To get it 0.
Excuse me? This feels offensive. What is this?
It's a multiple choice question. You got 4 options. The 0 option pops up, you choose it, and you get a full point. Nice. Okay, let's now do this problem. Let's find the second derivative. So find the first, then find the second.
Do we add the y prime again?
We put it, yes, we replace it. So guys, we're gonna say 2y, y prime, plus 2, y prime, 8x plus 2. Factor out the y prime maybe? 2y plus 2, 8x plus 2. So y prime is equal to 8x plus 2 over 2y plus 2.
One thing, can we use dy over dx?
Same thing, but this is for me easier to write.
So, I was right. But
So what's the a here? 8x plus 2. What's the b? What's the a prime? B prime? No. 2y prime. What was the quotient rule?
wait, so what? Oh yeah.
B squared here. B times a prime minus a times b prime. So y double prime, I'm going to say now, is 2y plus 2 squared 2y plus 2. So b times a prime minus b prime times a. Am I done? Of course not. You must now replace each y prime with this guy. So replace the y prime here with this guy. There's only one, yes. So we're going to say now 2y plus 2 squared. We're going to have 2y plus 2 times 8 minus 2 times y prime times 8x plus 2. But you're not supposed to be leaving it like this. Okay. Now we'll try to simplify. So you're going to have 2y, or yeah, 2y plus 2 times 8 minus 2 over 2y plus 2 and 8x plus 2 squared. The whole thing is over 2y plus 2 squared. What happened is I multiplied the 2 here. Yeah. Now, what's the bottom of this one here? 1. Make them the same common, right, bottom. What is it? Yes. So you're going to have 2y plus 2. You're going to have here 2y plus 2 squared. If you cross multiply, correct? You cross multiply? It's new for us? If it's new, then it's a problem. Times 8 minus 2, 8x plus 2 squared, 2y plus 2 squared. You mean this 2? And now what? If you have a over b over c, it's equals to what? A over b times c, correct? This is the a. This is the b. And this is the c. So now we're going to say y double prime is equal to a over B times C.
Can't you just do it like cube, like 2y plus
Yeah, you could. Cubed. Yeah. Sure. So far, so good. Y prime is easy to find. Do you agree? Everyone agrees. But after that, it becomes somewhat difficult. Because now this is going to be the A part. That's going to be the B part. So A prime is equal to 8. B prime is equal to 2y prime. Agreed so far? Now, let's just talk about our quotient rule, which says b squared, b times a prime, minus a times b prime. So now we're going to say y double prime is equal to b squared. So 2y plus 2 squared. We agree. Then b times a prime minus a times b prime. One more step, just one, to replace the y prime with this mess right here. That was the hard part for you, I think, right? So we're gonna have y double prime is equal to, we can expand if we want to, 16y plus 16 minus 2 times 8x, 16x, and minus 2 times 2, 4. Okay, so this thing is multiplied by the y prime, which is 8x plus 2 over 2y plus 2. Shall not times it by 2? Don't like that part? Okay. Don't do that. So just keep it as 8x plus 2 times 2 times y prime, which is 8x plus 2 over 2y plus 2. The whole thing over 2y plus 2 squared. Now, what do we do? It's always the question, what do we do? Right? Do we text? Do we not pay attention? Do we pay attention? Okay, now it's a big question. And now we're going to keep texting, and now we're going to say y double prime is equal to 16y plus 16 plus. What do I put here? It's over how much? 1. It's over 1. This one's over 2y plus 2. The whole thing is over 2y plus 2 squared. Now, what is your recommendation to me? Who's that? What's your recommendation to me? What should I do?
cancel out the denominators.
How about I cross multiply?
What does that do?
Simplify things, hopefully. 2y plus 2 squared So we're going to have 2y plus 2 as a CD. As a CD.
Minus CD.
Common. Exactly. So, yeah, abbreviation is important. So we're going to have here, I can take out the 16. I'm going to have y plus,
So
where is
why
it?
did the 2y plus 2 not go up?
I'm sorry? Can
Why
take
did
that away.
2y plus 2 not go up?
It will right now, if you want it to be.
Wait,
And it's going to become combined. You know?
where did the other 2y plus 2 come from?
This part, maybe?
And the
So
other
look, this is like having an 8 and 2y plus 2. And so, yeah. I know, it's fun. Minus 2, 8x plus 2 squared. Are we good so far? A, B, C.
We should have kept it as 8 2 y plus 2y.
Look, it's an MCQ most likely. They will determine that. It's a process. It's a process. So A over B times C.
becomes
Why do you keep touching your pocket?
through
What's in the pocket?
something.
Something important? Why is your phone so vibrational? Okay. We got it. Teamwork works.
It was just you.
You guys were nodding. Yes. All right, so guys, we have here x squared plus y squared is equal 6xy. If you listened to me today, you can then find dy over dx correctly. If you paid attention. If. That's a big if. Show me your effort. So, x squared becomes 2x plus 2y, y prime, 6. Product rule. So x times y prime plus 1 times y. You know? So 2x plus 2y, y prime, is equal 6xy prime plus 6y. Put all the y primes on the left. 2y, y prime, plus, minus 6x, y prime. 6y minus 2x. Y prime, 2y minus 6x, 6y minus 2x. How easy is that? I think it's very easy. Yeah. Okay, we like it.
Wait, sir, wait.
Please solve correctly. So x becomes 1 minus, cosine becomes minus sine, and y becomes y prime, x times y prime plus 1 times y. 1 plus sine y, y prime is equal xy prime plus y. So we're going to have to isolate the y prime on the left side. Y minus 1. So we're going to do y prime is equal to,
Sir,
uh-huh.
mine was the same. You said what happened to the one?
So for this one, I want you to find the second derivative the second, not the first, the second. But to find the second, you must first find the first. So 2y, y prime. 2x minus 2. Y prime is equal to 2y here, 2x minus 2. Factor out the 2 to make your life easier. Now let's find the y double prime. So y squared, y times 1 minus x minus 1 times y prime. Replace the y prime with this.
Can you repeat?
Well, you will do, this is the a, and this is the b. So I did b times a prime minus b prime times a. So y minus x minus 1, and y prime is x minus 1 over y squared. So you're going to have y minus x minus 1 squared over y. Make it a common below you denominator. It's below you. This question is below you. Yep, it's below you, exactly. Cross y squared minus. And now you will do the rule. A over b over c is like saying a over b times c.
So I don't understand the cross multiplication.
You don't understand that? Okay, so let's say I had 1 over 2 minus 5 over 6.
Okay.
I cross multiply. So,
It's gonna be,
so what's 2 times 6?
we're gonna times them two.
Yeah, that's why 1 times y becomes a y. We get 12 in here. 1 times 6, 6 minus 2 times 5, which is 10. Yeah, that's the rule. It's a math rule. Mm-hmm. Exactly. What do you need help with? Need help with something? That's the final result. If I have the following function, f of x is equal to 2 sine x plus cosine of 2x, I want you to find the equation of the tangent line. And I also want you to replace at pi and at 1. Start. So guys, if they say find the equation of tangent line, you basically have to think about the equation of tangent line, which is in the form of y minus y1 is equal to mx minus x1. But there is one small issue. Do we know what the x1 is? Do we know what the x1 is? Smart. The y1? Smart. But do we know what the slope is? M. To get the m, you must differentiate. Differentiate your function. Find for me the f prime. So you're going to do 2 times, instead of sine, put cosine. Plus. Cosine means negative sign of 2x. You differentiate the 2x, it becomes 2. So you're going to have 2
So what about the first one?
cosine 2x minus 2 sine 2x. What about the first one? The 2 remains the same, and the sign becomes cosine. Your f prime becomes 2 cosine 2x minus 2 sine 2x. That's your f prime. Now what do? Replace the x with pi. Find me the f prime of pi. So look, 2 cosine of 2 pi minus 2 sine of 2 pi. Wait, sorry. Why is there 2x in here? It's just x. So 2 sine of pi, cosine pi, minus 2 sine of 2 pi. Now this is the xy coordinate. Where's pi on the plane? So from here to here is pi. How much is that in degrees? 180. Okay. Cosine of 0 degrees is equal to 1. But cosine of pi degree is equal to -1. That's a common knowledge for an AP student. Okay? Yeah.
So times 2.
Kill me right now. Make it quick. What's the sine of pi? I mean, what's the sine of 0? Wow. And if you go from here, okay, if we go a full circle, that's called 2 pi. And sine of 2 pi is 0. Please learn those basics. Can you run if you don't know how to walk? In calculus, walking is learning those sines and cosines. And right now, all of you walk. Okay? All right, so 2 times, what's cosine of pi? -1. Minus 2 times, what's sine of 2 pi? 0. So what's my slope? Wow. Wow. -2. So I'm going to say y minus y1 is equal to m x minus x1. Y minus y1 is 1. M is the slope, -2. X minus pi. Wow, on so many levels. Now, just keep the y alone. So -2. Now we have something new called inverse functions. Now I think that you guys in school curriculum, you took inverse functions. Did you not? Did you?
Yeah, we did.
We did. You took inverse functions? Good. So fx and gx are inverse functions. If they are, that means that the f of gx would be x. That's what inverse functions mean. The f of the gx would be an x. And so if x was 2, that means the f of gx would be 2. Okay? Now, what does it mean to be inverse functions? If f of a is equal to b, then g of b is equal to a. So if a is 2, if b is 0, then f of 2 is equal 0, and g of 0 is equal to. That's why they're called inverse, because they are inverse to each other, right? So the x of one of them is the y of the other one. The y of one of them is the x of the other one. So if f of a is equal to b, then g of b is equal to a. But of course, we care mostly about the derivative. The derivative of g is equal to the reciprocal of the derivative of f of g. Please know this very well. Memorize this like you know your name. Right now, if someone says, what's your name? You will tell them your name without thinking about it. I want this to be as important to you as your own name. Memorize it. Take a picture of it. Do something with it. Make a tattoo out of it. I don't know. Just do it. Oh yeah, how about that?
Illegal?
Is tattoo like considered to be cheating in the exam if you tattoo an equation on your arm?
I think so.
I mean, it's a tattoo.
They made us take off our shoes.
Sir,
They chipped our bodies.
This is not an airport.
they took my belt off, wallah. Seriously.
Are you fine?
Wait, that's actually like horrible.
Yeah,
They had detectors too.
I was going up,
Detectors?
Yeah, they
Airport
were
is
strict about it.
less strict than
I
that.
was going to the stairlights, I was holding.
So you know the calculator thing, the cover our flights? We had to take those off too. They took those too.
You cannot take the tattoo off though, so you're fine. Okay. So if g of a is equal to b and f of b is equal to a, then g prime of a is equal to the reciprocal of the f prime of b. Memorize those rules. Memorize them. Memorize this guy. Memorize this guy. They love the second guy more. They do. I'll give you that. So, f of a is equal to b. G of b is equal to a. You want to find the g prime of b? You do 1 over f prime of a. Yeah. Can you give me a number?
7.
If x is 7, how much is the y?
7. Why 7?
No, just another number. Let's say 6. So in a function called f, when the x is 7, the y is 6. The inverse function of f called g, when the x is 6, the y is 7. Now they're going to say, okay, so what is the g prime of 6? You will say 1 over the f prime of 7. And if you know that, you know the answer.
So 1 over 6?
We don't know, because we don't know the f prime. The question might give it to you. For example, imagine that f of x was x squared. What's the f prime of that? Smart. So 1 over 2 times 7. 1 over 14. How easy is that? Piece of cake. Piece of cake. Exactly. Okay? All right. A lot of fun. Okay. So for question 2, we all know that when f of a is equal to b, okay, and we also know that the inverse function in terms of b would be equal to a. And so if a is a 10, b is a 5, right? So a is the 10, b is the 5. The question says find the derivative of the inverse function in terms of 5. That means the question wants us to find the derivative of the inverse function in terms of 5. And the rule says that will be the reciprocal of f prime of a. So if b is 5, a is 10. That means f prime of 10. And that's already given to us as 8. So the answer is going to be 1 over 8. Okay? Okay. For question 3, it says, what's the derivative of the inverse function at x of negative 1? So look, they're asking us to talk about the inverse function at -1. Okay, now, look, first of all, we have to know our function. So, if we have a -1 in here, that means we have to have a -1 in here. Okay, so that means that f of a is equal to a b, or basically f of x, or in this case it's g of x, right, g of x is equal to y, which is -1. So what x value would give me a -1 as the y? 2. So 2, g of 2 is equal to -1. That means the inverse g of -1 is equal to a 2. Now the question wants the derivative of the inverse function. So they want us to take this inverse function. They want us to differentiate it. And of course you have the reciprocal of g prime of 2 based on the inverse function rules. Okay, because don't forget that the inverse function at b derived, or sorry, differentiated is equal 1 over the f prime of a. That was the rule. So 1 over the g prime of 2, and when x is 2, the g prime is a -3. That's going to be the answer for the derivative. Now they also want the equation of the tangent line to the inverse function. So you will do y minus y1 is equal to mx minus x1. Now for the inverse function, right, the x1 is -1 and the y1 is a 2. So y minus y1 is equal to the slope -3rd x minus x1, which is again a -1. So y is equal to -3rd x plus 1 plus 2. Y is equal -3rd x minus -3rd plus 2. And now if you continue the math, then you will get plus 5 over 3. That's going to be the equation of the tangent line. Okay. Now for question 4, it says, if m is continuous and differentiable function with some values given by the table below, evaluate the inverse function of m derivative at -half. Now first of all, if we have the m inverse function of -half, that means we had m of something that gave us -half. So the m of x gave us -half. So the x of -1 gave us -half. So be -1. You must now find the derivative of the inverse function at -half. So 1 over m prime of -1. So 1 over, when x is -1, the m prime is equal to it, -2. That's going to be your answer.